The nature of the mind is to identify danger and avoid it, and to identify food and get it. That's pretty much what the purpose of our mind was developed to do. That's what every animal's brain does. It's like avoid danger, find food, and mates. So the mind is fearful, the mind is impatient, and all of this is to further those goals of like getting food now, avoid danger now. Once we started living in safety, civilization, the mind didn't really have anything to do anymore. And so it started to see danger everywhere. And it started to create a stress response in us constantly. All we need to do to become free from the mind's ego trips is to simply observe the mind's ego trips, to recognize that's the nature of the mind. That's not my entire experience. I am the observer and witness of these thoughts. That is who I truly am. One funny thing that the ego does, the thinking mind, is that it thinks it's the center of the universe. And it thinks the world revolves around it. And it wants to feel important. Just like anything, any other organism, it wants to survive. And it will fight for importance and supremacy in our inner psyche. But the more mindful and aware we become of these ego trips, the less they actually happen, because that is unconscious thinking. We're not intentionally going down these ego trips or creating this division between ourselves and everyone else around us. And so when we become more aware of our thoughts, the thoughts become more conscious. And conscious thoughts generate feelings of joy, love, kindness, gratitude. It simply takes practice to become automatically always observing our thoughts and automatically having consciousness of both our thoughts, our bodies, and our surroundings. But it's a very simple and easy thing to develop. The difference between our heart's intuition and our heart's knowing what's right and wrong and what we should do, and this all comes from our heart. It's the knowing part of our body. And the thinking mind is simply that, the thinking part. And often what happens is we feel we know we need to do something. And then our mind starts saying, well, maybe you shouldn't. Maybe you should do the easier thing. And the main reason we doubt our intuition is that thinking mind. And the reason we have a hard time identifying what we know is the right thing to do and what we think we want to do is because no one's taught us. No one's told us that we have these three different brain centers in our body: the heart, the gut, and the mind. And in some cultures, whatever the mind thinks is not even important. They only care about the gut and the heart. But in the West and in other parts of the world, and especially as places are modernizing, the brain has become the valuable thing. You know, what can you create and produce and work towards, and all these things that the mind does. But the gut instinct or the heart's intuition, these things we just know, are our truest, highest intelligence. And the mind, because it's selfish, self-centered, and wants instant gratification, it will always try to talk us into the easiest thing. But if we let our heart lead, then our mind will follow instead of the other way around.